Utah Conversations with Ted Capener is made possible by the members of KUED in partnership with Jerry Taylor and Edna Anderson Taylor, proud to support local KUED programming. The Larry S. and Allison Smith Challenge Fund, encouraging individuals and businesses throughout Utah to support KUED community affairs programming.
Why is music important in the lives of young and old? Two outstanding teachers devoting their lives to music know that music can and does change lives. Gifted Music Schools Director Eugene Watanabe and Dr. Craig D. Jessop, the founding dean of the Kane College of the Arts at Utah State University, next. What an honor to have two such outstanding musicians as our guests today. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Now, do you really think, let's start with you, Eugene, that music does change people's lives?
Absolutely. Music education and children that have had meaningful music education as part of their education and their lives are impacted in such a profound way that I can't even begin to explain. They stay out of trouble, they go to college, they do better at school, and I think there's been studies that have shown that they even make a better living in life, which in turn turns for a better society. So I can't begin to.
Well, that's what you're devoting your life to. And how about you, Dr. Jessop?
I totally agree, and I would say, Ted, from cradle to grave, music is a powerful influence. Last Saturday, we gave a concert in Logan, the American Festival Chorus and Orchestra, to children and families, people of all age with disabilities. So if a parent had a child with autism or Down syndrome, the Down syndrome that would make noise in a normal concert was open to everyone. And the senior citizens with Alzheimer's were brought in. I've never been so touched by a concert to see the impact of music on all people. Then we have a music therapy program at Utah State University, and how it touches the lives of people. Music can go to the heart where no other thing can do it. People can have a stroke and not be able to speak, but they can sing.
Yeah.
It's a profound power. And the ancient Greeks knew the power of music.
They did?
They did. They believed that there were certain modes, and if you listen to certain modes, it would create certain character traits. Can you imagine the concept that your behavior is influenced by the music you listen to?
Oh, sure.
It hasn't changed in thousands of years.
But so the music that young people, some, listen to now, is that going to be life-changing?
Can certainly influence their behavior.
Yeah. So hip-hop is not your favorite?
No. I'm open to explore, but I must say it's not something I listen to with any regularity.
Okay, what is your favorite kind of music, Eugene?
That's actually a fantastic question. I happen to like every type of music out there. I think music is a universal language that communicates to all living beings out there that are able to hear it and respond to it or feel it. And I feel that as times change, there is different ways in which we reach different audiences. And I happen to truly love every type of music. I frequently have the radio turned on to non-classical stations, even though I do listen to classical music. But it's certainly the foundation of everything we listen to today. And this is what we focus on at the Gifted Music School. We want to reach every age, every level of music learning from the very beginning stages. And we emphasize that music is a truly universal language, and through music we're able to teach aesthetic values and values of what's beautiful, what's not, what's good and what's not. And certainly all the music that we listen to, pop music, is based on classical music. we can owe all our harmonies and even the foundations of rhythms to all the founding quote forefathers of music.
Really.
But as far as the rules of harmony, you can turn on Adele, for example, or even Taylor Swift, for example, and you listen to her music, and all the harmonies and the rules of harmonies and the grammar that was set was solidified by Bach.
Really?
So 3 centuries ago. So
really?
So the music that I teach, even though we focus on classical music, it's quite universal.
I can't disagree with anything he said, and I too love all kinds. I was raised, the Jessops are cowboys, so my first teachers were Hank Williams and Patsy Cline.
Wonderful.
And my first music lessons were guitar lessons. And I love country music. Nevertheless, I think maybe because I'm a vocalist and I'm in tune not only to the music but to the lyrics, there are some lyrics that are absolutely unacceptable.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
And have a terrible influence on people.
Yeah.
So I will discriminate there.
Yes, absolutely.
But he is spot on. The music rooted from the tradition of J.S. Bach, he did solidify these harmonies that are still in use today. The progressions are still there. It's almost like they're eternal principles.
Well, I was going to ask you about the eternal aspects of this. What you said earlier, commented that we take music into our being, our soul, if you will. Are we going to take that with us when we leave?
Yes, I say definitely.
You're planning on it.
And I can hardly wait to hear the glorious strains on the other side that aren't perceived here. And I will say, music to me has always been a portal to the infinite. It's been an access to unspeakable things. There aren't words to describe the places music can take you.
Yeah, I think that's right. I do. And that leads me to ask both of you, and you're both outstanding musicians. You have a marvelous baritone voice and a marvelous conductor that made history with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, with hundreds of people loving you and loving your music and loving your conducting and loving you. And Eugene, you're a superb violinist, and I think you also play what?
I play violin and piano.
And piano. I was going to say and piano. And you're a superb musician.
Great.
So devoting your life to these young people, and you start with them when they're very young.
Yes, the school that my wife Vera and I founded, the Gifted Music School, the term gifted, I think, needs clarification, because by gifted we mean every child should receive the gift of music education. And our school has programs that start at 2 and 3 years old for the child. And we believe that is the seminal age to introduce them to music. Whether they do music as a profession or whether they do music to enhance their lives or something to learn what discipline is, we start at the earliest age. And we teach children of all abilities, even children who just want to learn how to play. We feel that it's the purpose of our school is not to raise professional musicians necessarily, and that shouldn't be the purpose of a parent necessarily, to start their children in music or give them music education. Music education is far bigger than that. As Dr. Jessop alluded to, music is a way for us to express and find places to go to. It's a way to travel to other dimensions. And I feel music accomplishes it in a way that, and I'm biased here, in a way that's more direct than any other form of art.
Oh, good for you. And since you do start at such young age, do you believe in the Suzuki method? Tell me first. I think you do have a course in that, don't you?
Absolutely. We have several arms of the school currently, and we're all working in concert towards one main goal, and that is to be able to provide music education for every child out there, and to be able to reduce the barriers of access for music education. And the school, the part of the school that is probably the most dear to my heart, is what we call the preparatory department. And that department is where any child, they want to learn how to play the piano, they want to learn how to sing, they want to learn how to play a string instrument. We have the faculty and resources to help that child receive the highest level of instruction. Whether they're going to do it professionally or not, that's irrelevant. Our goal is to turn these kids into future leaders and future citizens.
Now, go ahead. The Suzuki.
Yes, and to answer that question,
okay.
Yes, that we have Utah's only official Suzuki school at the preparatory program. We also have non-Suzuki teachers, but the Suzuki method is extremely successful.
Really?
And the Suzuki method at heart is a beautiful philosophy that everything starts in the family, and that you have to nurture the child, you grow the child, and you support the child. And Suzuki's philosophy was that when you learn music, you do it as a family, you do it as a unit. And so there's a lot of parent involvement, there's regularity, you add structure to the child's life. And when you understand Suzuki at its core philosophical level, it's a remarkable teaching philosophy.
Wow. Now, you have begun a choir. You are the dean now of the college up there. And being a dean means a lot of times paperwork and budgets and all of that.
Right.
But you still are an artist, and you still conduct a choir. You mentioned the choir before.
Yes.
Tell me more about that choir.
The American Festival Chorus is we call it Town and Gown. It is affiliated with Utah State University Department of Music. You could take it for credit. And it's about 230 singers. It's a large choir. About 10% are students taking it for credit, and 90% are singers from all over Cache Valley, but they are driving from Montpelier, Idaho, from Preston, Idaho.
Really?
They're coming down from Bountiful and Ogden. And we
coming up from Bountiful.
Oh, that's right. I get confused.
Okay.
Coming up from Bountiful and Ogden.
All right.
And we have a very full season. We just finished a performance, an all-French program, the Poulenc Gloria and the Fauré Requiem. And then the next week, with a smaller chamber work, we did the St. John Passion of Bach on Good Friday. And then last Saturday, we did a Pops concert for these families with children and members with disabilities. So we do the whole gamut.
It's fantastic. So you're 13 years as conductor of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. You're not missing that terribly.
Oh, I miss it. It would be. It was 4 years as associate conductor with Gerald Otley, and 9 years as the music director of the choir. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. But I'd always prepared myself to be a teacher. And as I get to these later years of life, I very much wanted to give back. And we went home to Cache Valley. I'm fourth generation Cache Valley. And I must say, for this stage of my life, it's one of the most rewarding things that I could do. I'm still very close to Mac Wilberg and the Tabernacle Choir, and always will be. And yes, I do miss parts of it, but like I said earlier, it was nice to watch General Conference in my pajamas.
Okay, now you are going to conduct the orchestra.
I am.
At the Spring Gala. Now we've got to get this plug, right?
Yes.
And tell me about the Spring Gala and about the role that Dr. Jessop is going to have.
Well, first of all, I wanted to lay the backdrop that Craig, of course, is regarded as one of the great American choral conductors out there. And when the school, Gifted Music School, was founded, one of the first people I reached out to was Craig, and asked for his guidance and wisdom in starting the school. And for Craig to come and conduct the Gifted Music School Orchestra this year, I feel we're coming full circle, and I can't express how excited I am for Craig to be able to conduct the orchestra at the Gifted Music School. The concert is on May 16th.
Saturday, May 16th.
Yes, and it's a program that's going to be very fun and festive, and it will feature the full scholarship students at the Gifted Music School. And the purpose of that gala is to raise funds for the Gifted Music School. We are a nonprofit organization. The kind of faculty and the level of instruction that we give to bring in that level of teachers requires the support from the community. So that's the purpose of the concert, and the kids are blessed and so incredibly lucky to have the presence of somebody a lot like Craig. His greatness and his vision is going to be exciting.
Well, his empathy and his soul, and it's just okay. We have a little clip of the orchestra that Dr. Jessop's going to. Let's look at that now. Let's roll that clip. Eugene, now that is kind of music we're going to hear at the Spring Gala?
Not necessarily. That clip just demonstrates they're all supremely trained classical musicians, some of the hardest working and the most talented kids from all over the state. But we like to have fun at the school. And as we discussed earlier, we like for the kids to have fun. For example, the talented violinist there, Bree Fotheringham, in that clip, she improvised all of that.
Did she?
Yeah. And when you're trained in Bach and Beethoven and Mozart, you can do that stuff.
Well, but she and others, and the pianist and others, are going to be professionals.
Yes, some of them will be professionals. Some of them, the pianist there was a very talented pianist by the name of David Horton. He's currently at the New England Conservatory of Music studying. But but our goal is many of those students are going to go to fine schools and become future leaders, and we need those people to go into politics, to go in, become
advocates for the arts.
Advocates for the arts.
That's right. We need advocates for the arts, don't we? Yeah.
Absolutely.
We could go into that about what's happened in the public school system. Let me ask you that, Dean. The music effort in some of the public schools is not as great as it once was.
And test scores have gone down. As arts has been eliminated, in my opinion, test scores have gone down. I do frequently all-state choirs all around the nation, and I'll work with up to 200 kids. These will be the creme de la creme of their high schools. I would say 95% of them go on to college. They have the highest ACT scores. They're in the leadership positions. The kids involved in the arts are among the brightest intellectuals and leaders of their schools. And I'm baffled as to why we would cut our arts program when they're so essential. In some ways, I think my generation received a better education.
Yeah.
And arts were central to the education we received.
I'm baffled also. What are we going to do about it?
Well, we have programs like the Beverly Taylor Sorensen program for arts access for children that have partnered with the Utah State Legislature in bringing arts to our children. And I think what Eugene's doing, I agree, we need those doctors and lawyers and scientists who have participated in the arts, gone to other careers. Those are the ones we need to advocate for the arts. They get tired of hearing the artists advocate for the arts.
Yeah, you're right.
We need you to advocate for the arts.
Well, let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now you are going to conduct.
I am.
I'm going to repeat this, Eugene. May 16th, Saturday, Olympus Junior High Auditorium, the Spring Gala. It's to raise money for scholarships. And where do they get tickets?
They can get tickets right online at giftedmusicschool.org.
Giftedmusicschool.org. Okay, Craig, you're going to conduct the orchestra. You conducted the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. You've conducted all across the world. You conducted the singing sergeants. You are a colonel. I should have saluted you when you came on.
Please.
I was a sergeant.
Please. I salute you.
So you have conducted. Do you do conducting, and you have a PhD, a doctorate in conducting from Stanford University. Do you conduct differently with orchestras as compared to choruses?
No, I don't.
Don't.
My great mentor was Robert Shaw.
Yeah.
I sang with him for 10 years, watched what he did. His years with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, he was trained by Toscanini and George Zell of the Cleveland Orchestra, two of the great orchestra of America. In my opinion, notes is notes. We get in trouble when we treat singers different than we do instrumentalists.
Absolutely.
It's all the same language.
Notes is notes?
Notes is notes, whether you're a singer or a violinist.
Should
it's
that be
still
notes
music.
are notes?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
don't know. I like notes is no better. Notes is notes. Now, you told me when you sat here in this chair several years back and talked about the Gifted Music School and all the things you had dreamed of, which are now coming to fruition, many of them. You told me that to be a really good instrumentalist, you should be able to sing. Why? Did you tell me that?
Absolutely, you have a fantastic memory. Got to be careful what I say. No, that is absolutely true. If you come to a lesson with any of our professors or my studio where I'm teaching or I'm working with the orchestra, when we talk about phrasing, it is all based on vocal inflection.
Really? Really?
Yes, and some of the great composers.
Well, for example, the Vaughan Williams that we're doing,
Yes.
a Variations on a Theme of Thomas Tallis, was a vocal piece that Vaughan Williams took, and it really put him on the map. But it's rooted in vocal music of the 16th century, of one of England's great composers. And the whole performance of it has to be tied to the rhetoric, the declamation of the spoken word, because that's how Vaughan Williams conceived it in his writing.
Really?
Yeah. So how you phrase it, how you shape the phrase is very important, that it's tied to the phrase that a singer would do when they perform
You
it.
know, with all of your experiences in the world, which do you, we're going to only have a couple, 3 minutes left. 3 minutes, they just told me, 3 minutes. Which have you enjoyed most? Which has been the
Which of my 4 children do I love the most?
No, I didn't ask you that. Yeah, I could ask you that if I want.
I love it all, Ted. I could not label it. When I'm with this group, I love it the most.
Okay.
When I'm notes is lingo for the musical world. It's an in-house. So just to make sure you know, you would be really hip if you said notes is notes.
Oh, good. I'm glad to know that. Yeah, I'm glad. But the Singing Sergeants must have been fun.
The Singing Sergeants was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I had the Air Force Band of Europe
I know you
when
did.
the wall fell down.
I know you did.
And of course, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir is the top of the heap in many ways.
Yeah.
Singing with Robert Shaw for 10 years
Yeah.
was some of the most supreme musical experiences of my life.
How about the opening ceremony of the Olympics here?
Unbelievable. With John Williams and Yo-Yo Ma
Yo-Yo
and
Ma.
Sting.
Yeah, and Sting.
How can you beat that? And the Utah Symphony. our partners.
Yeah. Okay, Eugene, you're still very young compared to...
Oh, no.
Compared to me.
No, I didn't, to me.
People are people.
Like notes
Yes,
is
sir, no,
notes.
yes.
What's been most rewarding to you?
Oh, it's easy for me to answer. For me, professionally, teaching and watching a child develop and go into the world and being a part of their upbringing, a part of their...
This man is a quadruple crown winner, superb violinist,
I know he is.
pianist,
Yeah.
conductor, and master teacher.
Yeah.
And the teaching element doesn't always follow the performer.
No.
But maybe his greatest gifts are his teaching
Yeah.
gifts, thank goodness, and he's willing to share it with our children.
That's
very kind of you, Craig, and
I'm sure it's
true.
true. And I should say in the 30 seconds we have left that you have begun a choir, and so you'll have a choir in relation to the instrumental music.
Yes, we've always stressed the importance that you have to be able to sing, and the choir is a wonderful
addition to what you're doing.
to what we do.
Okay, the Spring Gala, I'm going to plug it again for you, May 16th, Saturday, 6:30 p.m., Olympus Junior High, and you should all be there because it's going to be great. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Eugene.
And I hope that you will join me next time for another Utah Conversation.